Hey everyone, James Hurst with The Marketing Show, and in today's video, I wanted to do a little deep dive on the ChatGPT action. I've kind of had a few use cases that I wanted to talk about, when you might use it, and one of them is that if I'm doing an appointment reminder sequence, I might say, hey, are we still good to go in 30 minutes or not? And they might say, hey, I'm going to the doctor's, I can't make it, or sure, or yes. They might answer a variety of different ways, and this used to be this, we would check if it was a positive intent or negative intent. Well, now you can actually take what they said and take it through ChatGPT and then compose a contextual-based response, okay? So a little more personalized based on what they just said. Oh, no, I'm going to the doctor, my daughter's sick. And then you can reply back with something like, oh, man, I'm sorry to hear about that with your daughter. Hey, no worries. And then maybe you, what's really cool with the ChatGPT action is that whatever you've done, you can say, kind of like output yes or output no, like, or appointment is confirmed or appointment is canceled, right? When you're all done doing this, manipulation on the data before it, go ahead and output something. And that's the thing that we'll be able to use in the next step. I'm going to show you how to do that today. Okay. So in this example, I have this birthday, and this actually might help a lot of people. Anybody that's dealing with birthdays or anniversaries, maybe a contract anniversary, you're coming up on your annual reminder, any of those things. Because one of the problems with those dates is that, the date, let's say the date is 1956. Well, the birthday, let's say the birthday is January 1st, 1956. Well, if I'm trying to wait until their birthday, there's a big difference between their birthday's 30 days away, or are we talking about their birthday anniversary? Okay. So right now, HighLevel really doesn't support this idea of anniversaries. And so this year their anniversary is going to be on the 1st, but then next year the year is going to change. And so waiting until an anniversary just doesn't work because it's looking at it as if it was 1956 when their birthday actually was, right? So this was the example I'm using, that I'm going to go make a new custom field. Okay. So I'm going to say, hey, I have your birthday. I assume I have your birthday, but I want to know, when is your next birthday anniversary? So I'll be keeping that up to date once a year. So I just made a simple text-based field. I just went here, custom fields, add a new field, single line, right? And then I said, next birthday anniversary. And I already have it because I already was practicing this, okay? So there's my new custom field, right? Now, let's take a look here. You can imagine that we're going to have a little prompt. So we're going to use the ChatGPT action. So I'm just going to click on the plus button here, search for GPT powered by OpenAI. You have some different types here: analyze text sentiment, summarize text, translate, or custom. That's what I need right now, is custom. So I'm thinking, okay, I've got this birthday. So I'm going to say, here's the birthday, something like that. And then it's going to be a custom field or whatever thing you're going to look at previous. So you're going to have to use something like this. So contact, birth date here, date of birth. Go ahead and determine when the next birthday anniversary would be. And then I need to output that thing into a certain format, right? So I knew that eventually down the road, I was going to want to wait until I need to use the set event start time. Okay. So I know I can set it to a custom field, specific date and time. If I'm going to pick a specific custom field, something a little more dynamic, I have to use a certain format. Okay. And so look at this format here. See that? So I was going to try and output from ChatGPT that exact same format so I could use it in a step down the road. Okay. So that being said, what I came up with was this here. I said, and this is going to take some tweakings, and I'll go ahead and let it fail a little bit here, as you can see how I troubleshoot this a little bit and fix it. But basically it's an iterative process where I'm going to, give it my best prompt and then test it and see if it comes out with that birthday that I was expecting. Okay. So based on the birth date of child's date of birth, so I'm passing in a variable or the last thing they said by text or something or other, some piece of data on the contact record, determine the next upcoming birthday anniversary that occurs in the future. So I'm really trying to get this thing to say, listen, I don't care about the birthday. Maybe it's already passed this year. What is their next birthday? And then output the result in this exact format below with nothing else. All I want when I'm done with this prompt is a date in a specific date and time format. And I hard coded in 12, basically noon, 12:00. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that now. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this other test step, just kind of showing you how that is made. And so here's the thing. When I get an answer back, this is the key to doing this. I'm going to update that custom field. I'm going to update that new field to store the answer in. Okay, so I'm going to update the contact field. I'm going to go get that next birthday, right? So there's my next birthday anniversary. It was the custom field that I had just made. And I'm going to save in there the output from the step above. So I can do that now. I can go up. Usually we're using something like a contact custom field. This time we're actually going to go get the output of the GPT step. And it has the same name as above right there. So number 2, that's the step. And then the response. So whatever response I get back from there, I'm going to stick it in next birthday anniversary. Now, if it doesn't come back in the correct response, if it says, hey, I can't find that or whatever, if it errors out, well, then it's not going to save very well here, and it's not going to be able to wait, and it's going to cause issues down line for that contact. Okay, so there's that. So that's how I did that step right there, update contact field. And then from there, I can use set event start time to use and reference relative to that new contact field. Okay, so for now, I'm going to delete this little guy because I've already got a copy of him. And we're going to just do our first test and see, hey, does this thing output, is this prompt what I want? Okay, so let's go ahead and see if we can't find this contact here. So let's go ahead and see what we have for the birth date or the child's date of birth. Let's see here. Birth. Next birthday anniversary. Child's date of birth. Okay, so January 3rd, 2015. So we are trying to figure out when is their next birthday. I'm recording this in 2025, right? And so their next birthday would be January 3rd of 2026. So you can see I've already done some testing here. Let's go ahead and clear that out. So we know that that is so we know that that is empty. So this is the date we're passing in. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and put this guy through right now. And let's see here, little James, and run test. Okay. I basically just simulated as if I had filled out this form. So now we're going to go to enrollment history. And you can see here that we have gone through the workflow. So we've got through, etc. Let's look at the execution log. Let's go ahead and look at what we got here. So where did this start? So right here, add to workflow, determine the next birthday anniversary. So that's the ChatGPT step. View details. ChatGPT response. It says their next birthday is January 3rd, 2024. Well, I said, well, why is it 2024? And I'm thinking, sometimes those models, maybe that's the model, maybe that's all the information it had. Hey, up to 2024, it didn't really know the date. So I actually asked ChatGPT. I said, how come model 4.0 doesn't know what year it is? 4.0 doesn't have a built-in concept of the current date. It doesn't know what year it is, quote unquote. And so there's no built-in clock if you don't tell it what date it is. And so it actually says how to fix it. Today's date is such and such. Well, I need to use this as a variable. I can't just hard code a certain date in there. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to give it a little more context, telling it what today's date is in a dynamic way using the right now merge field. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to add that right here. We're going to basically tweak the prompt. And let's do that. Today's date is, and I'm going to use this little guy here. And right now is another, it's like a library, just like we used custom fields or the GPT. I'm going to come in here and say, what could I use here that would tell me what date it is? Right there, month, day, year, or day, month, year. Probably doesn't really matter. Let's just do month, day, year, October 31st. So let's do month, day, year. I click on it, and unfortunately, there's a little glitch right now that sends that merge code down to the very bottom. Let's go ahead and cut that and put it back at the top. So now we're going to tell it what day it is. And I'll tell you what, so just to save you a little time, so when I first did this, I had a little period here. And when I had that period, let's say it was the right output, but it had a period at the end, and so it failed. And so I'm just going to let you know that that really did matter at the end of the day. So I went ahead and took that period out. So when it did output, it was outputting exactly the format that it was expecting. Okay, so let's try this again now. And see if we can't get that right future birth date. Okay, and maybe this is the future when the contract expires, or maybe it's a wedding anniversary or any other kind of anniversary. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. Let's go ahead and put in him again, run test, and we'll give it a little bit of time. I'm just going to fix that here. I'm going to say 60 days before their birthday. They're coming up in a few months. Okay, we're going to let that run. And let's take a look at the execution logs again. So here we are. And I'm going to look at this view details. And there we go. So now it's outputting January 3rd, 2026. So then we're going to update that field, next birthday anniversary. And then we're going to set the event start time. So now it's going to do that. And then it's going to, and it's right now it's waiting. And it's waiting until 60 days before that birthday on January 3rd of 2026. So it's all working now. So it's going to sit there and wait. Now, as a side note, I was thinking, well, it's great that I've got this date here. I got the next birthday anniversary. How am I going to keep that? How am I going to keep that up to date for the year after that and the year after that, right? So maybe let's go make another workflow and let's think about that. So I was thinking the birthday reminder workflow is a little bit tricky because it just kind of runs automatically. Birthday reminder, or keep next birthday up to date. Okay, so we're going to do a trigger of a birthday reminder. Runs at 8 a.m. daily. So anybody whose birthday that matches that is going to fire. Okay, so there's their birthday. And what I was thinking about doing was really doing that same calculation that we had done previously. So if I come here, I go to automation, I go grab this, really that same step. Yeah, it's really the same. So basically, today's date is that. So then this is going to kind of just keep that up to date. So I'm going to do a chat GPT action. Paste that in there. And then I'm going to update that same contact field. And next birthday anniversary. And whatever they spit out in the GPT step. Okay. So that should just kind of keep everybody who's got a birthday should constantly be updating the next birthday. Okay. So what do you guys think about that? Is that pretty cool? Was that helpful? I think that you have the idea of what this thing can do. It's like this little processing step. You could do some math. You could ask a question. You can take some information beforehand, process it, and spit something out that you can use in the next step. It might be the difference between being able to accomplish something in your business that you needed to, that you really couldn't really pull off much any other way. Maybe by doing a webhook out and then using make.com to figure something out and then bringing it back in. This is much cleaner. It is a premium action, so there's a small charge per execution. But let me know if that helps. Let me know if you're already using the ChatGPT actions, if you think you'll try to use them going forward. And with that being said, guys, I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.